your roadmap to the latest in auto. Welcome to Highway Herald. Buckle up, folks, because the world of geopolitics and defense is about to shift into high gear. For decades, Canada and the United States have maintained one of the strongest military alliances on the planet. But tensions sparked by President Trump's aggressive trade and foreign policies have put that relationship on shaky ground. Tariffs on Canadian imports, threats of annexation, and a surge in nationalist sentiment have pushed Canada to reconsider its defense strategy. The result? A bold pivot toward Europe and Asia for defense partnerships, deals that could reshape North American security forever. Let's dive into the key developments and their massive implications for Canadian defense. Number 1. Canada's break from the US. Why the relationship collapsed. Canada's relationship with the United States began to unravel when President Trump imposed a 25% tariff on Canadian imports. Trump claimed the tariffs were tied to immigration issues and fentanyl trafficking, justifications widely criticized as politically motivated and lacking evidence. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau condemned the tariffs and imposed reciprocal measures, escalating tensions. The situation worsened when Trump suggested annexing Canada as the 51st state. While initially dismissed as a joke, growing nationalist sentiment in Canada turned it into a serious concern. Trudeau admitted that U.S. interest in Canada's natural resources played a role in the pressure campaign. This fueled the rise of the Elbows Up movement, a call for greater economic and military independence from the U.S. Trudeau resigned amid the turmoil, and Mark Carney became the new prime minister. Carney called for early elections and vowed to protect Canadian sovereignty. Foreign Minister Melanie Joly warned that Canada's shift could serve as a wake-up call for other U.S.-dependent nations. Carney made it clear, Canada would prioritize its economic and military independence, even if it meant alienating the U.S. But defense realignment wasn't limited to politics. Canada's military strategy was about to take a major turn. Number 2. French submarine deal, strengthening Canada's naval defense. Canada is making a bold shift away from US-built defense systems by turning to France to modernize its submarine fleet. The French nuclear-powered attack submarine FS Tourville recently docked in Halifax, Nova Scotia, just 300 miles from the US border. Its visit was part of cold water performance tests, showcasing France's cutting-edge naval technology. The FS Tourville, a Barracuda-class submarine, is renowned for its stealth, long-duration mission capacity, and advanced intelligence gathering, perfect for Arctic operations. Canada's Royal Navy has committed to a 60 billion Canadian dollars, around 42 billion US dollars, investment to upgrade its aging submarine fleet. The deal could lead to the construction of 6 to 12 new submarines, with the first expected to enter service by 2035. France's naval group, which built the FS Tourville, is a frontrunner for the contract. The French government has strongly backed the deal, seeing it as a strategic boost to bilateral military ties. This upgrade comes in response to rising security concerns in the Arctic. Melting ice is opening new shipping routes and increasing the risk of territorial conflicts with Russia and China. By partnering with France, Canada aims to strengthen its Arctic defense and reduce reliance on U.S. naval support, a clear signal that Canada is ready to stand on its own. But submarines aren't the only upgrade on Canada's radar, literally. Let's see how Australia is playing a role in Canada's defense transformation. Before we delve deeper, we'd appreciate it if you could subscribe to Highway Herald. Your support fuels our passion to create more content like this. Now let's explore number 3, Australian radar system, Canada's Arctic surveillance upgrade. Canada's push for independent defense is clear in its new 6.6 billion Canadian dollar, around 4.2 billion US dollar deal to acquire an advanced over-the-horizon radar system from Australia. Developed under Australia's Jindalee Operational Radar Network, JORN, this system will significantly improve Canada's ability to monitor activity in its remote Arctic territories, now a hotbed of geopolitical tension. JORN works by bouncing radio waves off the ionosphere, allowing real-time detection of aircraft and vessels up to 3,000 kilometers away. This is a game-changer for Arctic security, where vast distances and extreme weather have long limited traditional radar coverage. For decades, Canada's air defense has been tied to the U.S. through NORAD, but growing mistrust of Trump's foreign policy and unpredictable trade moves have prompted Canada to seek greater autonomy. Prime Minister Mark Carney emphasized that Canada must be able to secure its own borders without relying on American military infrastructure. With melting ice opening new shipping routes, the Arctic has become a strategic flashpoint, with increased military activity from Russia and China. The Joran system will give Canada a crucial edge in protecting its Arctic interests, reinforcing national sovereignty and reducing dependence on U.S. defense systems. Canada's radar deal signals a technological shift, but what about its air defense strategy? That's where the F-35 contract comes in. Number 4. Reassessing the F-35 fighter jet contract, a strategic break from the U.S. Canada's defense strategy is at a crossroads as officials reconsider the $19 billion F-35 fighter jet contract with Lockheed Martin. Signed in June 2023 for 88 F-35 jets, the deal was intended to bolster Canada's air defense and strengthen its role in NATO's integrated air defense network. However, Trump's aggressive trade policies and diplomatic instability have forced Canada to rethink this agreement. Defense Minister Bill Blair confirmed that Canada is exploring alternatives, including the Eurofighter Typhoon and the French Dassault Rafale, both offering similar performance without the political and operational baggage tied to American defense agreements. Portugal's recent cancellation of its F-35 purchase, citing concerns over Trump's foreign policy and potential operational restrictions, has added to Canada's doubts. Portuguese Defense Minister Nuno Melo warned that Trump's isolationist stance could compromise future maintenance and operational flexibility for the F-35 fleet. If Canada scraps the F-35 contract, it would signal a historic break in U.S.-Canada defense cooperation. But Canadian officials have made it clear. Strategic independence and national security now take priority over maintaining close military ties with the United States. Canada's shift in air defense sets the stage for an even broader realignment in global alliances. Number 5. The rise of new defense partnerships, shifting toward Europe and Asia. Canada's growing defense ties with European and Asian partners reflect a clear strategy to reduce reliance on the United States. Alongside the French submarine deal and the Australian radar acquisition, Canada has also signed new bilateral defense agreements with Japan and South Korea. In 2024, Canada and Japan committed to increased naval cooperation, joint military exercises, and enhanced intelligence sharing. This reflects Canada's growing interest in the Indo-Pacific, where territorial disputes with China over maritime boundaries and resource claims are becoming more contentious. The potential shift toward the Eurofighter Typhoon and Dassault Rafale further underscores Canada's realignment toward European defense systems. France and Germany have actively lobbied Canadian defense officials, seeing this strategic shift as an opportunity to strengthen European influence in North American security. Foreign Minister Melanie Joly stated that Canada's goal is to create a multipolar defense framework that reduces dependence on any single ally. Conclusion: the road ahead. Can Canada stand alone? Canada's pivot away from US-built defense systems marks a historic shift in its strategic identity. The potential cancellation of the F-35 contract, the French submarine deal, and the Australian radar investment highlight Canada's push for greater military independence. But this new path isn't without risks. Moving away from U.S. defense systems could weaken NORAD's operational strength and disrupt joint military exercises. Canada's defense industry, heavily tied to American supply chains, could also face economic setbacks. Politically, Canada's shift toward Europe and Asia reflects a changing global power balance. As the U.S. becomes more isolationist under Trump, Canada's strategic independence may set an example for other NATO allies. What do you think? Should Canada continue down this independent path? Could breaking away from U.S. defense agreements weaken Canada's security? Or will aligning with Europe and Asia make Canada stronger? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you found this video insightful, be sure to subscribe to Highway Herald for the latest vehicle updates and in-depth analyses. Your support helps us bring you the best in automotive content. Thanks for watching and see you next time. You can now check out any of the videos on the screen. There's more exciting and informative content waiting for you.